Hey, Sports Unfolded bringing you back just for kicks. Ron, as always, my main man, and my amigo right there, B Rad Bryan is in the house tonight. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long time.
It has been a little too long. You are our soccer football guru. So we decided we'd bring it back this week. We wanted to talk a lot about the new gen, hence the name. Talk about a lot of the up and coming players. You've made a top 10, Bryan, that you want to discuss, right? We've been blessed with some great players recently, Messi, Ronaldo, right? Mbappe, right? There's so many great players. But you feel like this is the next wave, Bryan. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. In fact, I think this is at least for me, it's a very historical time because I was always used to watch, like you were mentioning, Messi and Ronaldo, and seeing that these players are kind of retiring. I don't know when they're going to retire officially, but obviously they're not in the news no more as they used to be. uh, Looking all these generations that are coming now, it's very interesting because it kind of. I mean, they're not the same, but some of them has mix of both of them. The talent has like you mix that, it's almost the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, right? Because you look at the end of the careers, Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, Messi deciding to come to MLS. Before we get into your top 10, your thoughts on that? Him coming to Major League Soccer. Obviously, it's not as big internationally as some of the other leagues that he was in. But what are your thought process on that? Is this him just kind of, hey, he wants to keep playing for a little bit, knowing that this is a league that obviously he could be successful in?
Well, to be honest, I think he already achieved what he wanted, so and he knows that. Uh, so I think now it's more about marketing. I mean, uh, outside of his soccer life, he has a lot of companies, and I think America is a great place to grow when it comes to money. So I think he's focusing more now in his own personal brand. I mean, he got David Beckham, which is another guy who is a business guy. And I mean, it's convenient for Messi. It's also convenient for MLLs. It's definitely convenient for Miami, Inter Miami, especially in Miami. So I think now, I mean, he just want to leave a relax. I don't know, next 5 years.
Yeah.
He even said that he's not even sure that if he's gonna make it to the next World Cup. But I think right now he just wanted to end his career in a very chill way, in a very relaxed way. And I think now, from now on, I think Messi, it's more about marketing than soccer.
It
That
certainly
is,
opens up the door for other players now to even come to the MLS.
I think MLS is a league. It's growing each year. It's growing more than everybody was expecting like 15, 20 years ago. But it's a league, where all the big bosses can put their eye to bring people to Europe, especially where the top
Hmm.
generation are.
yeah, look, it makes sense, right, for Major League Soccer to say, hey, look, we can market you, we can get you, some money. We'll have to see how this all plays out. Obviously, by the end of his career, but he's already made millions. I think he's the highest paid Major League Soccer player in history. So he's already accomplished that in a short time. But let's talk about the future, Bryan. That's why we're here tonight. We want to talk about the future. We want to talk about some of these top guys that everyone out there, if you're not a soccer fan today, you're basically saying these are the guys you're going to hear about for the next 10 to 15 years. You need to start watching. So we'll go in order, Bryan. And if you want to start us off at number 10, you're number 10.
Yes, I'm just looking through my list because I have a list over here. But yeah, definitely, I have a I have a number 10. Uh, I wanted to put this guy. I know he's not that. Probably he's not like everybody doesn't know him that well, but I think he got some talents. I don't know if you hear about Alejandro Garnacho. He plays for Man United. He's number 23 in Man United, and his position is forward. He's only 20 years old, and I think although he hasn't scored that many goals because Man United right now is having a very horrible season, very horrible season. Matter of fact, I was watching a game of them today, and they almost lost again. But last year, like earlier, I would say early in the month today, he scored a very amazing goals. He had like 5 goals so far, and he has been very on point when the team needs him. But again, the team is going through a very bad season. It's been going on the last couple of seasons, but he got the talent. So this is the problem sometimes with the players. Sometimes they got the talent, but sometimes they're not disciplined as much as they need to. And I think that Garnacho, the problem with him is that it's not very consistent. That's why I got him in number 10. But he probably, if he trains more, if he dedicates more to the, to the talent that he has, he probably could bring his talent more higher, if that makes sense of what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And that is why Cristiano Ronaldo is very remarkable in this sport, because Cristiano Ronaldo, yes, he had the talent, he always had it, but his philosophy was always work hard, work hard,
Yeah.
work hard. Even though you got the talent, but you gotta keep working, you gotta keep working. And right now, Ronaldo is 39 years old, and he plays in Saudi Arabia, and even though he plays in Saudi Arabia, he ended up this year of being uh the soccer player that scored the most goals in the year, 59. So that is very important, because even though he's 39 years old, he still ended up as the player that scored the most goals in the year, more than Mbappe, more than Haaland. And I mean, if all this new generation have that mentality that Ronaldo had when he was 20 years old, I think they will be successful. They are going to succeed.
Yeah, we've seen it in all the great athletes, right? We look at Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, right? They always said they worked harder than anybody else because ultimately that's what makes them great. And that's what you saw with some of those, phenomenal football players, when we talking about soccer, like a Ronaldo, that they were never satisfied with doing what they do. So hopefully this kid gets his mind right. And to your point, right, dedicates himself to the sport. If he has that much talent.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I sometimes sometimes for the players it's not fair when their team are going through bad seasons, because even though yes they have the talent, they play good, but again, and I always say this: soccer is not only about one player. That's why I don't agree when people put Messi as the only player that he is the only one who wins game. This is a team game. We all need each other, and
Mm.
even though Messi, yeah, or whatever name you want to put, yeah, they're great players in that. But if your team is going through a very tough time, it's gonna be hard for you to shine, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
The
Listen,
whole team has to be in the right position or it breaks down. I
Ron,
mean,
Ron probably could talk about this better than anybody else. Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player probably ever to, lace up skates on the ice. But he had seasons where he struggled. And it's because the players around him, regardless of how great talented he was.
yeah, he only gets 100 points instead of 200.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But listen, at the end of the day, right? He could have got 200 every year if he had the right guys around him.
Right.
All right. So number 9, Brian.
Yes, actually, obviously in soccer, and everybody who likes soccer here, the players play for a position, and one of the positions that he's playing, it's Alejandro Valde. He plays left back. I mean, he kind of runs from behind to ahead to the top. And Alejandro Valde, he played for Barcelona, and he's only 19 years old. And yes, when you play left back, your job is not to score goals. Your job is pretty much to give assist, to make sure that your wing is protected. You fight every single ball. And yes, probably this guy, he doesn't have any goals, but the talent that he got, the speed that he got, it reminds me of this guy. It reminds me of these. It remind I'm forgetting the name of this player right now. I think it's called Fabinho. It was a Portuguese player that used to play in the 90s. This guy is very fast. Balde is really fast, and not only that, he also dribbles a lot. It kind of reminds me also of Neymar. But to be honest, in my own perspective, Neymar was a lazy player. When I say lazy player, he wasn't disciplined at all, right? So, and that's why he didn't succeed as much as he would have do if if
Yeah.
he was disciplined. But Balde, this guy is very he dribbles a lot. He also has speed, and he's not selfish. When I say selfish, he doesn't keep the ball to himself, but he tries to open and see the right where is the
He's a
right play.
playmaker.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
He's a playmaker.
Yeah, and he's only 19. And he's only 19. And I know Barcelona, they're not going through a very good moment right now, also, but they're doing better than Man United for sure. But I think if this player, like I say, if they keep working, I know a lot of people when they see like a player shine, they're already comparing it with Messi. They're already comparing it with Ronaldo. We gotta understand that these people are young. They're only 19. They're 20 years old. You gotta keep them time. You gotta keep them support because obviously they're not gonna succeed overnight. But again, if they keep working, if they keep the good mentality, if they keep discipline, for sure they're going to succeed.
All I know is, Brian, we got to get you to talk to these guys because you're pumping me up right now, right? It's all about dedication. It's about, right? You're in such a wonderful spot, right? And all you got to do is dedicate something you enjoy doing, which is crazy to think about that you have to push people sometimes to get to that point, right? But that's insane. So, I mean, really good stuff. If you're joining us live, we're talking to my main guy right there, Brian, all about soccer, football. If you have any questions at all, please let us know as well, and we can let you know. But we're talking about the next generation, the new guys that we should be watching. And Brian has been gracious enough to bless us with the first two. And we're at number 8, Brian. I can't wait.
Yeah, I have this guy. He's Brazilian. His name is Gabriel Martinelli. He played for Arsenal. Um, Look, Arsenal right now they have a very good squad, very good players. They're doing pretty good actually. They have a very good coach. So I could mention the whole squad if you want me to. Obviously, I'm not going to. So it's really hard to try to see who do I like. But I grabbed Gabriel Martinelli. He's forward too. But the reason I like him is because even though sometimes he's not always on the how do you call that when you coach have 11 players that they always play. I'm forgetting the name. The official lineup. Obviously, I don't know if you know what I'm saying. So Martinelli is not always on the official lineup. Sometimes he's on the bench and he has to get in the second half. So, but every time that he goes in on the second half, he shows the coach that he wants to play. He got 4 goals right now so far, which I mean is not the best. They're not the best numbers. I mean, 4 goals, 2 assists, probably not the best number. But knowing that he doesn't always start the games, he's on the bench. It's kind of impressive the way he wants to know the ambition that he has to at least get in a position on the official lineup. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, yeah, and the other Diaz joined us, Manny, joining us live. He's saying the starters, right? So the starters, they have their official starters, the guys that they consistently put out, and Martinelli has to come in and try to, get those goals when he gets the opportunities. But again, that might make him, better at the end because ultimately, right, he's got to fight harder than anybody else to get him.
Well, it's important because it's almost like that sixth man in the NBA. You're coming off the bench to give a spark. He's got the fresh legs coming in, and he's going to be playing against some players that have been out there the whole game, and that could give him the juice to get to do some special things. And he's got to prove himself, and that's all in part of being a young player.
And I might have missed it. How old is he? B?
Talking about Martinelli, he's 21.
Martinelli. 21. Okay. So far the oldest of the 3 guys you've already talked about.
Right. Yeah.
But he's been playing a little longer.
He's 20. Yeah, he's 21.
Okay. So who do we have at 7?
I thought that was number. Oh, that okay. Yeah, number 7. So I got.
I'm paying attention.
You can always you can. Obviously, you can exclude the list, even though he's I think he's gonna be the oldest. Haaland. No.
Okay.
He's a promise, and Probably people will say he's number one or no, top three or whatever. But Haaland to me, it's he's the guy right now who is kind of like he's gonna be a superstar. Like you got all these
That's number
moments.
6, Ron.
We're number 7, right?
We're still on 7, buddy. I'm
So,
sorry.
okay, yes, Haaland. I got Haaland on number 6. I think I don't know how can I say this. I like Haaland. We know he's gonna be a superstar for sure because he already showed it to us. The only thing that I don't like about Haaland, and all the soccer fans can agree on this, is that on every single final where the team needs him, he disappears. And that's why I really don't like the final that he plays with the UEFA Champions League. We didn't even know he was. I mean, we knew he was playing because he was in the lineup, but he wasn't the protagonist. He wasn't. We didn't. If you didn't see all the lineups, you wouldn't even notice if he was playing or not. Same thing happened with his uh with the FA Cup tournament when the final again. Same thing happened. No, if it wasn't because Man City has a great squad, it's almost like Dak Prescott. If you want to know,
We got a
it's
Dallas
almost
Cowboy
like Dak
reference.
Prescott. If you want to know what I'm talking about, but again, not everything is a final. Not every game is a. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
every game is a final, but again, he helped the team gets there.
Yeah, but I would look at it maybe like a James Harden in the NBA. James Harden always puts up really good numbers during the regular season, gets to the playoffs, and somehow just decides he's not going to show up for games. And it's frustrating because you know how great of a player and talent he is because he shows it all year. And then when the big moments, there's only certain guys. Listen, Tom Brady went to 10 Super Bowls, won 7. Michael Jordan went to 6 finals, won all 6. Like there's certain guys when they get there, they're not losing those games, right? And that Messi, right, winning the World Cup. That's where we've got to make sure, right? If this kid's going to be a legitimate superstar, to your point, though, you got to win some of the big ones.
And again, something that I want to point out is sometimes you got to give credit to the coach, the opposite team coach, because obviously they see this guy is the superstar. They try to cover him. They try to put probably 2 defenders to defend. So yeah, probably you can say that the other team is trying to avoid that he score goals, but at the same time, if you're the superstar, you gotta know how to pass these whatever 3 or 4 defenders that are ahead of you.
Yeah, Manny just at 50 goals this year, which is
Yes,
phenomenal, right? 4th in
and
goals.
I want to make a parenthesis, and that's we're not talking about Ronaldo, we're not talking about Messi, but Ronaldo scored more goals than Haaland this year, and Ronaldo is playing in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is impressive.
That is crazy. That is crazy. All right, what do we got? 6. We'll bring them up for you. Jamal Musiala from Munich.
Yes, Jamal Musiala. He plays for
I
Bayern.
was so close. I'm really good with names.
This player is he play middle. They put him forward sometimes, so he kind of plays in different position because he's really good at it. And I think he was one of the players that most watching the World Cup when he played for Germany. Unfortunately, Germany had a very bad World Cup last World Cup. But he got 3 goals while he's going in the season right now, and he got 4 assists. I mean, again, they're not the best. They're not the best numbers, but I mean, he's going there. So he's very fast. He dribbles a lot. And he plays multiple positions. You can put him center forward. You can put him as forward. You probably can put him in the middle. And you don't see that. You don't see that much some players.
Yeah.
A lot of players they only play one position only. But the good thing that this player has, his coach can use it in very important key positions where he could assist, he could score. And to be honest, I don't think Ronaldo could have done that. Ronaldo is a forward player. I don't think he could work as a center forward. Or
Wow. Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Or I don't see Messi doing in the playing just forward. I don't know. So seeing this guy that he plays multiple positions, he has the potential to, you know, to improve, to be somebody.
Yeah. No, listen, that's why we're doing it. Next gen doesn't mean they're superstars today. They're the superstars of tomorrow, right, Brian?
And he's
So it
only
really
20.
depends. 20 years old, right? So again, this kid's got a ton of years ahead of him. Where again, imagine if he can find a spot that he feels the most comfortable, and now they can use him just primarily in that spot too. That could make a difference ultimately in how far he grows. But we are in the top 5 already. I mean, it's insane to think about. But Brian, you are a phenomenal. Thank you so much for your soccer insight, man. We appreciate it. I know there's fans out there joining us live. Again, if you have any
Get
questions,
those comments in.
right? Get some comment. What if there's a guy you think should be in the list? Let us know. Let Brian debate it because, right? He knows so much soccer. It's ridiculous, my man. I mean, you're talking about guys from the 90s. You've been watching soccer forever. So, Ron, we are on to number 5, Bukayo Saka.
Saka, yes. He plays like I say, Arsenal. They got good players. I couldn't mention the whole squad, but obviously I'm not going to. He plays forward too, you know, and he got 5. While he goes right now, he got 5 goals and 5 assists. Again, better. They're improving. So Saka, he's a very dangerous player. Like he's very fast,
Yeah.
very, very fast. And so what I don't like about Saka and what I kind of don't really like about him, sometimes he's very selfish. He wants to score. He's so focused on score that he ended up losing the ball, or he ended up just sending it outside. You know, but if he could work on that, I think there's a player that is from Ivory Coast that is called Drogba. So Saka reminds me of him because he's ambitious, right? And he scores goal because if you give him the ball and he's on a good angle, he's gonna score a goal.
Yeah.
Unless the goalkeeper's like good. But if he works more on being a team player than just be selfish and want to score all by himself, I think he's gonna be like Drogba, the guy that I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but sometimes you do need to be a little selfish because if you look at any sport, whether it's basketball or hockey or anything, there is a such thing as passing too much. You're making that extra pass, and sometimes that destroys an opportunity. And sometimes you do need that selfish player to take the shot. When the shot is there, you got to take it. And that was weird.
I mean, there we go.
I
Brian
don't
doing
know
a
what
little
that
soccer
happened
move
there,
right there, right? He's like in and out trying to
But
score.
but you do have to have somebody that does want to take that shot, because you have to have somebody at times to be selfish.
I will say this too. He has, I'm going to tell you right now, Brian, that if you don't notice our Rhode Island accent sometimes, that this guy could fit in great in New England because Saka is how we would actually say it in Rhode Island. So, I mean, this guy's primed for it. Like, this is
He's a soccer player.
He's a soccer player, right? Like, it's perfect. This is what I'm saying. Marketing right now, 101. Sign me up. We're getting royalties for that if that ever happens. But I will just say, I mean, in all seriousness, to your point, right? Though sometimes being a great team player can be too much because you need to also look at your individual self and say, what can I do to help the team win? It's not always about, just trying to make sure everybody's involved. It's we need to win as well, right? That's important.
But believe it or not, though, before we go to the next one, it depends also on the way your coach wants to play. Because, for example, I take you, Mike Arteta, and probably the next show could be the best coaches right now. That could be an idea. But anyways, Mike Arteta, which is the coach of Arsenal right now, the way he plays is not aggressive, but collective. He wants to keep the ball. Always, he wants to pass the ball. And if he's going to score a goal, he wants that goal to be scored in a way of playing of me touching the ball, passing the ball, play more as a team, right? That's why I kind of say like he missed a lot of goals because sometimes he doesn't go with the way of what his coach wants them to play. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the other hand, you got Liverpool, which is another Premier League team, and they are the opposite of that. They play aggressive. They, if you have the ball, you got the talent, go ahead, dribble, whatever, score. They don't care. Jurgen Klopp doesn't care because that's the way he play. Again, every coach, I guess, they got their own philosophy. But I mean, I agree with.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it was just getting good.
Freezing up here. There you go. Go ahead, B.
No. Like I was saying, I agree with Ron. Yes, 100%. You gotta take that chance. But sometimes it's kind of hard because if your coach wants you to play one way, but you don't feel comfortable and you feel like doing other way, it kind of brings you at the issue. I don't know if you mean what I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say.
Kenny loves soccer
I
too.
get it because, like, you know, you have to be what the team identity is, and if you're going against that identity, then it kind of like misfires.
Yeah,
you know, it's like a spark plug that isn't working. You know, it goes against the rest of the engine. So if everything is firing right, then everything works well and it works like a machine. But then if one part of that machine isn't working, it kind of breaks down, and then you have holes in the game because somebody is not in the right place where they're supposed to be.
and Kenny joining us live as well. Thank you, Kenny. Saka is my guy, and I think Kenny might be a little. See, he probably thought we were talking about Saki, not Saki. Okay, we're not Kenny. We're talking about Saka and Saka. All right, my friend. But let's go on to number 4, Pedri.
Pedri, yes. I gotta say though, and this hurts my heart. He got injured, so he's out for the season.
Oh man,
he's
big.
out for the season. I think he's coming back probably August next year.
He might have got hurt in this picture. He looked like he's in a little bit of pain.
he got injured, and that really sucks because he plays center, and he's 20. I think he's 21, 20 or 21. He started playing for Barcelona. I mean, in the A team when he was 18, and he's been so fundamental in the pitch. He has give like, I think last season he gave like 20 assists through the year, and he's been scoring goals. So these
you
guys
have to be good if you only have one name.
That's my theory. Yeah, and not only that, but he also play. He's a great player. Not only that, but he also play. He's a great player for the national team for Spain. You know, and coaches love him because, like I say, he knows to find the right place, the right time, the right person. You know, it remind me kind of this guy Iniesta, which he used to play for Barcelona too, like 10 years ago. And hopefully, he doesn't get injured as much, because that's the thing though. When you're young, you fear is to get injured, and then don't be the same anymore when you come back. And that's my biggest fear of him. After he comes back in the summer, probably it's gonna be in the summer. My biggest fear is that he probably is gonna be like scared to get injured again. That he will not try to fight every ball that he can. I mean, I get it. He doesn't want to ruin his career. That he depends on that, so he wants to be healthy. But at the same time, it would be very sad because I know he can give more. I know he got more, but it's
yeah. They're saying that. Yeah, that they believe he's going to, right? He's obviously going to miss the Spanish Super Cup.
He will. He'll be out. Yes.
It's a muscle injury. So
yes.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes, again, to your point, if they don't heal the right way, right, that's bigger than anything else. And we've seen it far too many times in sports. right? Some of these great talents that we expect to be in first thing that comes to mind. And yeah, I'm not sure you know who he is, Brian, but Ron, I'm sure would. Jalen Rose played for the Chicago Bulls, and they legitimately thought this kid was going to be the next Michael Jordan.
Wait, Jalen Rose or Derek?
Derrick Rose, sorry. Jalen Rose is on that Four Letter Network. Yeah, Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose, I mean, they pretty much anointed him in Chicago, right? He's the savior after Michael Jordan, and just devastating knee injury. And he never really was able to recover. He'd have sparks, and there'd be moments where you go, oh, that's the guy that I knew he could have been, but he was never the same. And I could see it, right? Especially when they're young like that, it's tough. But let's hope he recovers. I mean, that's all we ever wish for, right?
Yeah, that's the hope, not only for him but for the team, because when you have a very talented player, you're not using it. It's kind of like a waste.
Yeah. All right, we're on to number 3. We're in the top 3 here. Phil Foden, Manchester City.
A lot of people don't like this guy for some reason. I don't know why they don't like him, but I think he's when I say they don't like him, it's not that because they say that he looks scary.
He does look a little intimidating in that
know.
picture.
Like, it reminds me of Wayne Rooney. I don't know if you know who Wayne Rooney was, but I mean, this guy, he's 22 years old, and he's. I don't want to compare him to Messi because that would be ridiculous, but he got the dribble, kind of the dribble that Messi has, and not only that, but he also got the speed. I mean, he's short. I don't know, for some people, short people are faster. So he's very fast, and he scores. That's the thing that I don't like about him. He doesn't have good definition, right? He misses a lot of chances. I think that he needs to work on that in order to be like Messi, because this guy, he's really bad when it comes to shooting. Like I tell you, like that's the number one thing that I don't like about him. He gives assists, he assists a lot, but every time he shoot, man, I tell you what, he's horrible. Horrible. But I tell you what, he got speed though, and he got dribble, and he assists a lot. So
let me ask you this: if you order some from Wish, right? Isn't that the company? And then you gotta hope you get what you're supposed to get. Is that what you're saying? He could be Messi, but he may not be.
I'm not
So,
saying that he's Messi.
You're ordering from Wish right now, and you're hoping what comes in is Messi, but he may not be Messi.
No, bro, I would never think he's gonna be like Messi, bro. But again, it kind of reminds me of him because the way he dribbles and the way he runs.
Yeah.
Right? But he should, like, the definition. He doesn't have definition. He doesn't have good definition. Every time he chooses to score a goal, he's bad. He's really bad. And again, but I know he's young. I think he's 22. He plays with Haaland. I'm pretty sure Haaland kind of teach him a little bit. And if he keeps working the way he's working, probably he won't be a great goal. I mean, he plays. I think he plays middle forward. So he's not a forward. He plays middle forward. He helps the forwards. He helps to pass the forwards the ball. But if he keeps working, I think he can be a great guy on his position.
Okay, number 3 there. So we're going to number 2, Eduardo Camavinga from Real Madrid.
Yes, Camavinga is one of those players that people say, "Oh, he's overrated," or I don't know, whatever. But you gotta know something. When you play for either Madrid, Man City, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, man, even though they're your teammates, but you are competitive. You gotta compete with your teammates, because you all good, and you all want to be number one. You all want to be on that squad official list at the beginning of each game. And Camavinga hasn't been like playing the first star lately, but we gotta know that he got a lot of talent around him. Like, you got Modric, and Modric is like what, 37, 35 years old, and he's still playing like fire. So you gotta compete with these experienced people. But Camavinga, it's like almost like Foden. He's fast, he's strong, he got that good muscle or body. And I think he plays middle. His position is middle, and I like him the way he knows how to pass the ball. How he doesn't shoot as much, but he give good assist. And right without assist, you can score a goal because there's nobody who can pass you the ball.
Yeah.
And this guy is one of those guys that he knows the right moment and the right player who to pass it. Like before he passed the ball, he already know where he's gonna send it, where the players are located. That's why, in my own opinion, he's number 2.
Yeah. And I love the way you say his name. I think you should be doing the introduction when he comes out in the stadium. All right.
Camavinga.
Camavinga. He says it like
Camavinga,
such
I mean,
conviction.
he's French.
Listen to that though. But the way you say it, man, it's like fires
He's
you up.
French.
He is French.
Camavinga?
Camavinga is French.
Camavinga. You see the way he says it, like with such conviction. I love it. I love it. That's why he's number 2. Number two. But we've got to talk about the number 1 spot. This is the guy you're saying.
This is my favorite. This is
the guy that you're saying right now. Messi retires, Ronaldo retires, some of these guys, right, retire. This is going to be the guy that's going to take over the soccer world.
And I tell you what, and I'm going to say it right here, right now. If this guy keeps the way he is, this guy's going to be much better than Kylian Mbappe.
Wow.
I tell
you heard it here first.
I take this guy over Mbappe. I take this guy over Haaland. I take this guy over the 2 of them.
Wow. Uh-oh. Fighting words, bro.
I tell you that.
What makes Jude Bellingham so great?
Bro, I don't know if you know I don't know, probably you don't know, but does it sound this name familiar, Zinedine Zidane?
It sounds familiar because it's from a Beatles song.
Well,
no.
Zidane was a player, right? He was a Zidane was a he's obviously he doesn't play no more. He's retired, but he was a French player, and everybody at the time when he was playing in the 90s, people would describe him as magic because the way he passed the ball, the way he would score the goals. Jude Bellingham, this is his first season in Madrid, and he already got 15 goals so far in La Liga, right? And he's not even forward. He plays middle. So his job is not even scoring goal. His job is to assist. But he's scoring goals. Like, he's doing that job. Yes, last year we were talking about Karim Benzema. Well, Benzema went to Saudi Arabia. Madrid was wondering, who's going to take over? Vinicius got injured. So people were asking, who is going to take over? Who is going to score goals now? Well, there we go. They got Jude Bellingham, who is doing that job for them. You know, and he doesn't only got 15 goals, but he also got 6 assists, which is a pretty good number. I mean, the way this guy plays, the way he runs, the way he knows where to be when he get the ball, the way he shoots. Man, I tell you that I am falling in love of this guy. This guy is like, he's the number 1 for me right now.
See, look at the smile when he's talking about him, Ron. I
He's
mean,
like glowing.
Geez, this is amazing. So I am going to check. I'm going to look for him.
The thing is that Real Madrid has the top 2 on your list.
And I'm not a Madrid fan. I tell you that. I like Barcelona.
And you were talking about this, right? Like Camavinga, right? He has to compete with Bellingham as well, right? So there's a lot going on that team. So sometimes those numbers are skewed because you got to look at the talent around them. But what a great list, man. Jude Bellingham, number 1 in the new gen, the next generation of soccer football players that you need to watch. What a great list, Brian. You know, the one thing I did notice that you left off the list, goaltenders, they don't get any love, huh? There's no goaltender.
We're gonna make you mean goalkeepers.
Goalkeepers,
right?
Sorry, goaltenders.
Listen, we can make a show talking about coaches and goalkeeper if you want to.
All right.
You know,
it sounds like a plan.
Only an idea. But again, I mean, if we're talking about keeper, I'm not saying they're different, but their job is different. I mean, their job I don't know. It's like it's different, I guess.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
I was more focused on people. If you see, half of my list was people from the middle.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you a question here. You mentioned certain players, two of them in particular from Arsenal. Of course, Saka and
Right.
Martinelli, right? But what about that kid, William Saliba from Arsenal? Like, what do you think his role is for this team? Is he like the third fiddle on this squad, or is he going to be another name that can step up and really contribute?
Well, Arsenal got a lot. Arsenal got a lot of young players. I think you know things about soccer too. You don't never know if if they're gonna stay in the
Right.
team. But if Arsenal's project is to keep this generation, and then I think yes, after Saka, Martinelli, Saliba could it's there. It's in that list to shine. With them. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean, you got a couple of squads here that have a big chunk of that, that top 10 of yours, and with all the talent that is on these clubs, I mean, you got to think that the future is great for both of those clubs.
For Arsenal, for sure. Not only for Arsenal, but also for Madrid too.
Yeah.
Yes.
so B, before we go, I do have one question. So what is the big stuff going like right now? College football, they've got their playoffs starting. NFL's about to have some playoffs. What are we watching for soccer in the next couple of weeks?
We got on February, we got the round 16 for the UEFA Champions League. I think that's the biggest. Yes, that's the biggest event for soccer for right now.
All right.
Okay.
So February, we got to have another show. We got to do
We
it.
gotta have another show. I mean, obviously the European leagues, they're gonna continue going on, but the big event is the round 16 for the Champions League, and I think they got the World Cup for the young guys. I don't know in January. I'm not sure about that. I gotta get into that, but for sure in February the round of 16 for UEFA Champions League they start. So
All right. All right. Well, I
we
want
got
to.
we got next year 2024. We got Copa America here in the US.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. Yeah. I think over here in New England as well, right? Foxborough, they're going to have games and
Yeah.
everything. So really, really cool. I want to thank you, Bryan, tonight for gracing us with your presence just for kicks, our soccer spinoff. So excited to continue to try to grow that market as well, right? There's so many great soccer fans out there, so many great leagues. You cover them all. You look at them all. I appreciate your list tonight. What a great list. Jude Bellingham. I'm looking this guy up as soon as we get off tonight and checking him out. Ron, as always, I appreciate you taking some time to join us. I will see you Friday night for Sports
Absolutely.
Unfolded. I can't wait.
For that
This is
in memoriam, right?
I don't even want to think about it, man. I already want to break down. Just for Kicks, season 2, episode 3, the new gen. We're signing off. All right. All we ever want is to just kick it. Can we kick it? Yes, we can.
Sure.
And we will see you again soon, Bryan. Take care. Keep that soccer info
Thank you.
coming.
Have a good night, everybody.